Andrew?
Yeah, I decided to just use my phone, so this works well, or at least
Oh,
better,
okay,
I should
cool.
say.
Okay, good.
Yeah, my battery.
So technically, okay. Well, Saleem, I was just technically following up with you from this morning. Do you have any solid plans for Global Cooperation Day?
Well, that's for Sunday, tomorrow, right? Or you
Yeah.
mean today?
So,
Okay.
well, I'm planning for.
Plenary session, right?
Yeah, I was just wondering, time-wise, what if you had something for tomorrow? What time of day, Bermuda time, would it be, and what would it be? Is it something you can record or stream, or can you just tell us what you have in mind?
Well, initially, the plan was to have a meeting between myself and Bishop West, on, again, on the same theme, and that is human fraternity. And
right,
explore the topics of what we plan to do together. Unfortunately, he's extraordinarily busy. The last several days, he doesn't carry a cell phone, so you have to catch him either at home, literally, and he leaves home fairly early in the morning, and then he goes by his office at the church, and then he moves on like that. But they're having some special events taking place, even unrelated to the global cooperation theme, and it's just taking them right out of it. He told me that he might be available from 3 until 5 Bermuda time on Sunday. That's tomorrow. And at that time, we actually have a football match from 3 to 5. But I haven't been able to reach him by phone since that time. He sent the email. I called him 2 or 3 times yesterday. And so I didn't even know if that's still on offer. So that's a bit, stifled. I think it would be best to talk about what the things that we can do.
Right.
In terms, when I say we, yourself, Curran, and myself, we can
sure
talk about what we have in mind, because there's a lot of things we have on offer and planning to do, as I started to talk to you earlier today when you called on October 13th. But tomorrow, there's no specific thing other than what Bishop Wes and I were scheduled to do tomorrow. But until I talk to him to verify his availability, I'm not, I can't say, but that's what I'm hoping to achieve tomorrow, is having him in the room with us talking tomorrow. And perhaps you might have to do it between 3 and 5, and I'll just be intermittent myself. Or at worst, perhaps I'll ask him to send a message, a voice note, so to speak. I don't know.
Okay. Well, what we can do, now that we have nailed down the time, that was really for me the most important thing. From 3 to 5, your.
Yeah, but as I said, even to him, 3 to 5 is the worst time for me because I'm scheduled to be engaged, you see, at that time.
Well, what time is the best for you? Well, what time's the best for you? Let's start with what we have, Saleem. So what's the best time for you? Let's start there.
Probably in the morning, sometime in the morning. But if I'm not mistaken, I think there may be something going on in the morning, which I'd have to consult with a few other people. Normally, Sunday mornings I'm free, but I may or may not be free tomorrow morning. 5, as soon as even 5:15 is okay or whatever time. But from my point of view, and I'm, you know, selfishly speaking, probably 5:30 or after would be better for me. But
Okay, 5:30 a.m.
no, I'm talking
or
about
5:30
after.
p.m.
Early in the
Oh, 5:30
morning.
p.m. Okay.
I don't think Bishop West is going to be available that early. But I could send him an email and ask him if he can do. You're talking about Bermuda time, right?
Well, yeah. Again,
I would
but here's the
suggest
thing.
if it's early in the morning, probably like maybe 7:30 or something. 8 o'clock would be
Okay.
probably a good idea.
All right.
8 o'clock is in the morning. 8:30 at the latest.
Okay,
Well,
then
I mean,
I could
that's
just to let
4:30
you
in the
know
morning
now.
for us,
But that's
right?
too early for you, isn't it?
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'll make myself available. That's not the concern right now.
Yeah.
But the other news is that right now it's 9 a.m. in New Zealand already, so they're technically already celebrating Global Cooperation Day right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, but and which is not a problem because the concept of think globally but act locally, because you know,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
very difficult to
Yes.
get everybody on the same page at the same time. That's pretty hard. You know, in China
Well, the
it's
great.
worse. You know, China is probably about 18 hours. You know, difference. So
Yes.
you know, you can anticipate these kind of hiccups. You know, but
Well, it's not really a hiccup. I was just suggesting that right now we are in fact celebrating Global Cooperation Day by discussing it. And that's my
yeah.
point. But I see you're a little bit
I
tired.
know, I
But
get your point, and I agree with you. I have no problem with
yes.
that. So if you want, we can make a start now. It's not a problem, I think.
Well, let me ask Adam Greenwell. Could you unmute yourself and make sure we can hear you?
I need to know hold on.
No,
Hello,
not you.
can everyone hear me now?
Oh yeah, Adam Greenwell. Yes, I hear you. How are you, Adam?
Hello?
We hear you. Can you hear us?
I'm fine. Good morning from New Zealand, everybody. I'm in a van driving from, yeah, I can hear all of my drop. I'm using my cell phone in a van. We have been delivering furniture donated from a Croatian family who came to New Zealand as refugees 60 years ago. They've donated
I can't hear.
to a refugee family here in Palmerston, where I used to live. So it's adventure, like a road trip. And it's been a road trip, it's been a spiritual experience, it's been a cultural exchange all rolled into one. And one of the other reasons for coming down here is my friend Taz has something called Walk a Mile, where the wider community and refugees walk a mile in a given area. We come back to a community place, share a meal, and they talk about their experience as refugees. Now we're talking about factoring that into Global Cooperation Day. Now to come in, this serves as a prelude for what I want to say about Global Cooperation Day. It's a kind of, because it's the feast day of St. Francis, and because Francis brought about collaboration between the Muslims and the Christians at a time when Christians and Muslims were fighting through the Sultan and the Saint back in 1219. We just had the 800th anniversary of that. We are celebrating that interfaith dialogue as well as the ecology, as well as peacemaking. So it's heightened by October the 4th, but global cooperation is an ongoing thing. So if Bishop Wes is not available on October the 4th, or various people are sort of not able to do things in unison on October the 4th, we can still make an announcement on October the 4th and say, you know what, for the rest of the year, we're going to be planting trees of peace and reconciliation. We are going to have a radio program or a television program Bishop West is going to comment on the papal encyclical on human fraternity. That will come under Global Cooperation Day. You know what I mean? So Global Cooperation Day has become more of a banner for an ongoing things under that theme for the rest of the year. Because the first Global Cooperation Day, we wanted to prove that everyone could cooperate by having people plant trees. And that was like people in Argentina planting trees in their backyard, through to schools in America or schools in England, schools in Europe planting trees, through to hotels planting trees, you know, in Asia, Sri Lanka. So it worked out to several hundred people around the world planting trees just to show that we can cooperate or rally around a theme. But as Global Cooperation Days grow, and what's happening is it's very hard to unify people around on one given day. As you've just mentioned, it's October the 4th in New Zealand, it's October the 3rd everywhere else. So all Global Cooperation Day serves as now on October the 4th is an announcement for the values we stand for and what we intend to be doing all year round. So I hope that all makes sense, and I hope you were able to hear everything I said.
Yes, yes, that makes sense. Perfect sense to me. Thank you. That does. Does it make sense to you, Saleem? Did you hear him? Okay.
Yeah, this is just validation. We talked about this a number of occasions. No problem.
Okay. Wonderful.
We move forward.
Okay.
We have the same values, and that's what binds us.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Lady Alicia, I think you wanted to have some conversation with Adam. I don't know if you have time now or thoughts or questions, but here he is.
Yes, and I have time, and very glad to be settling into my new life and being more available. And thank you all for your patience with me as I transitioned home, and now so excited about the release of Nokori TV and focusing TRN, the Revelation Network, on our faith and inspirational content and various initiatives. So I had a couple of things many things that I'm interested to talk about, but for the sake of today, two things just for clarity, because there was an email going back and forth about somehow the observation of Aretha Franklin's Amazing Grace documentary. I understand if that's not happening, that's fine, but we could visit it another time. But it caught my eye, went across my desk, and I just wanted you all to know that the maestro is still alive and with us and available. So whenever we do something related to the Amazing Grace album and or documentary, that Alexander Hamilton, who is the arranger and conductor of that piece, and if you've seen the film, he's the very animated choir director who's directing the choir and talking to Aretha and talking to the band and Sidney Pollack. That is my beloved husband, who is, by God's grace and mercy, with us. And I say that because we've been challenged with many health challenges, but by God's grace and mercy, we are still here, and he is available, which I thought if there was any observation around the documentary, it would be quite a interesting contribution to have his presence there for commentary or any other things that would make sense to embolden or to further the production or whatever the presentation is, to have him here, since of the three main people in the film, Aretha, James Cleveland, and Alexander Hamilton, that he is still here. So whether we do it through Cooperation Day or on another time, I just wanted to let you know that the Hamiltons are here to support anything like that, but I wasn't clear if that was a discussion or if they were airing the movie, or I didn't understand where it even fit in. So can anybody speak to the relevancy of that? So at least I know whether it's tomorrow or sometime moving forward, what the intention was, because it never was clarified. Does anybody have a comment?
Oh, that would probably be Lloyd Helpert, and he's not on the call.
Well, I've got an answer. But Well, anything before I jump in, I've got an answer to that, but if anyone else wants to reply to Lady Alicia.
Go right ahead, Adam.
Right, so what I want to say, it comes back to what I was saying before about Global Cooperation Day being a kind of day of announcement, rather than a day of activity going on all at once. And global cooperation in general, the global cooperation concept as developed by my mother has been published by the United Nations under a group called Together First, which is a mixture of civil society and high-level advisors to the United Nations. Now, two very powerful things have happened, which Brother Saleem will know about, and that is in Bermuda, a tree of peace and reconciliation was planted in Government House. Also, Brother Saleem and Bishop Wes signed an agreement to uphold the spirit of human fraternity. Corin Smith has helped coordinate a lot of these things. So I suggested to Corin that the base of global cooperation come from Bermuda because it is big enough and small enough. It's about 60,000 people. And then what we will do is, things are moving along in New Zealand quite well. I mean, the Mayor of Palmerston North made an announcement on Global Cooperation Day, which was the first formal recognition anyone in New Zealand had given it. Because what New Zealand tends to do, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, it's factually, because New Zealand is a relatively small country, people tend to like Hollywood, a miniature version of Hollywood, everyone's stealing everyone else's ideas, you know, truly. So what was happening was there were great announcements of how New Zealand needed to get involved in international cooperation a lot more than it had been, but they never gave any reference back to Global Cooperation Day. Whereas in Bermuda, that had happened organically. My mother was asked to send everything that she had done to the Vatican by the papal spokesman. And so therefore, Lady Alicia, your documentary about Aretha Franklin coming under the banner of global cooperation would also go to the Vatican.
Uh-oh. I can't hear him. It went away.
Adam, say that again. Adam, we can't hear you.
You see, so what I'm saying is that when things in Bermuda firm up, yes, sorry. What was that? What was that?
We missed the last part of it. It kind of broke up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I can't see.
I don't know. I know I'm still here, but I can't see. I don't hear him.
But I don't hear him.
I see him there, but yeah, I don't hear anything. So it sounds like he was saying, my understanding is that there's announcements. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, I'm missing it again. Oh, now he's gone. Okay. Maybe I'll sign back in again.
What I understood him to say, Alicia, was that he's welcoming you and offering and asking if you would, bring on whatever you want to, say about Global Cooperation Day under the banner of the, gracious work that Alex did, that he would include that in his sharing with the Pope. And so it's really up to you what you want to do about. You and Alex could use that as an opportunity, to use that as a platform to talk about Global Cooperation Day and how, it excites you or how it impacts you. And of course, reference, the Amazing Grace album as an example of ways that Alex's work has really forged cooperation around the world and building bridges between people of all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
It is, in fact, as I understand it, the most popular gospel album of all time. So he's reached millions of people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, maybe I'll speak to him about it. He's an earshot of me, but maybe we can do like a video or something, announcement, something short about um, observing Global Cooperation Day, and how
Exactly.
his ministry has been doing that through his music and his teaching for many years. So I'll talk to him about that.
Great.
And is the basis of it the unification of or the cooperation between the Muslims and the Christians? Is that the basis of it?
No, the basis
Oh,
is fraternal fraternal brotherhood among all people. That's the basis of it. Even though it
okay.
was exemplified by Saint Francis and the Sultan, it
Right.
exemplified the fraternity of humanity that the Pope and the Bishop, the Imam of Egypt, I believe it was,
Hmm.
Yes, that's
reenacted.
correct.
Yeah, they reenacted that in 2019. But also
Now,
earlier this, try it again,
Yeah.
Adam.
Adam's back.
so
Mm,
We think.
Oh, shoot, he was just here.
okay. Maybe I can say just a piece on that. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Andrew.
okay, yeah.
It has to do with human fraternity, trying to um, unite the races, the tribes, so to speak, the ethnic differences, um, the different nationalities, and the different religious people, so that they understand that, yeah, there's one race, and that's the human race. And
Right.
we need to learn how to work together without discrimination and without, of course, animosity and so on. And yes,
Mhm.
the Imam of Al-Azhar, which is like a major institution, a religious institution in Egypt, coupled with Pope Francis, and they 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 worked hard to pen this agreement. It's a very powerful document. I invite everyone to read it carefully because a lot of thought went into it. You can see that when you read it. It's not just some general statement. It's a very powerful document. Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. And yes, Bishop West and I, we sort of reaffirmed our commitment to spread this notion of people working together, regardless of color, etc. So, but I want to say this: it is important that the Muslims and the Christians in particular um, play a big part in demonstrating this cooperation, and that's because, in terms of on a religious basis, but on a human basis, they constitute the vast majority of the human population on this earth. And in particular, aside from that, speaking as a person of African descent, a Black person, in other words, I know that a lot of times there's a lack of communication or understanding between Christians and Muslims. Not necessarily hostility or hatred or anything like that, but there's a lack of cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and
Yes.
if, in particular, if people of African descent are going to overcome their trials and tribulations, so to speak, they have to learn how to work together with other people of African descent, and moving forward, people of European descent, of Asian descent, of African descent, of course, they have to recognize what time it is. So I think it's a question of, it's a call to arms, so to speak, for people to lay down their weapons, of mass destruction, so to speak, whether it be a
Don't we
mindset,
need that?
whether it be an economic sort of weapon, or whether it be an ideological weapon. Put down the weapons, stop the
Right.
fighting, and learn to work together. You see?
Right.
because
No,
this is what's
absolutely.
destroying humanity. And by the way, driving young people, youth away from
The truth.
spiritual
Right.
pursuits and so on. You see, because they're
Yeah.
saying, "What's the matter with the older generation? You
Mm-hmm.
know, what's the matter with them? They're
Right.
always fighting or fussing
Right.
about something based
Mm-hmm.
on race or based on religion or based on nationality and so on." You see.
Right.
So that's I don't want to hog the mic, but I just wanted to say that. You know.
Well, thank you so much. And forgive me, I am playing a little catch up here and there. Andrew, the document that he's speaking of, I've received many. Can you forward me the specific
Yes.
document
Yes, it's
just
a
so I have that
document
at
on
the
human
top?
fraternity. Yeah, I'll make sure you have it. Yes.
Okay, because as we relaunch TRN with the launch of Nakori, then we can put that at the forefront of, well, actually all the networks, because it all resonates with what we represent. And Saleem, so you know, we have 3 networks that we use to communicate globally. One is TRN, the Revelation Network, which is faith-based. You See It TV, which is Universal Citizens, which is family-centric. And then Nakori, which is our newest release, is truth. Actually, the symbol for Nakori is truth and the Adinkra symbols. And so we're very much aligned with this mindset
Yes,
and
good.
reorganized everything to be about promoting those kind of thoughts and initiatives. And so we will definitely do that. Adam, while we still have you here too, the second thing I was interested in is it possible to air the Sultan and the Saint and have a discussion around it? That was one of the things I'd wanted to do when I first heard about it on the Revelation Network, was to, because we can have a viewing party to air it and then have people talk about it afterwards. Are you knowledgeable about how we could potentially make that happen? Adam?
Hello. So I'm very sorry. Can everyone first let me know if they can hear me?
Yes.
Can everyone hear me? That's good,
Yeah.
because where we are driving is in and out of the connections keeps on dropping. So
Yeah.
I'm picking up the call. But what I want to say is I am very happy to factor in everything that you are talking about into the banner or body of my late mother's work. Another development is an Indian company connected to Lloyd Healthy want to write or publish an ebook on watering the fields of humanity, which my late mother's work and global cooperation are part of. I mean, that's my mother's social global vision, of which Global Cooperation Day is part of. So everyone subscribing to that point of view automatically becomes part of watering the fields of humanity. So there's another opportunity to be part of an ebook. The second thing is that our group have also signed an MOU with the Kenyan government through Kenya UNESCO and a Kenyan foundation to deal with one of the poorest areas on earth. It's 91% of the population live in poverty. They have absolutely nothing. They have widows, orphans. It's almost a biblical situation, chronically ill, people with disabilities. And we are looking at bringing water, energy, and all infrastructure to that area. So again, that's another positive development. And as I've mentioned, having Bermuda as the base for global cooperation, because of the work that's already been done with Cora and Brother Saleem, Bishop West, and the Governor of Bermuda. You know, so this is how things are working. And then so we've got the MOU, we've got the e-book, we've got this documentary that's already been made that can, again, as I've mentioned, be sent to the Vatican, perhaps through either myself or Bishop West. Bishop West the protocols will probably be better for him. to go through Bishop West. But there are all of these opportunities that we've got so far. But as I mentioned, you know, the Global Cooperation Day is probably a good day for announcing all of this stuff. That the problem is that I'm in transit and I've just come back from another addition to the Global Cooperation Day banner, which is Refugees Walk a Mile, or setting up a situation to help the refugee community in New Zealand, not just any one city. And this is perfect because we've had a lot of refugees with the Muslim community in Myanmar with what's been happening over there, and we had dinner with them last night. It was delightful. But I'm spending Global Cooperation Day in New Zealand in transit. But by the time I, prepare an email for this group, it'll be Global Cooperation Day in your part of the world, and that will be a very good time, to do like a banner broadcast or something like that to say this is what we've got. So basically, Global Cooperation Day is going to have to be now a public service announcement. On the basis of what's accumulated, what's been achieved, what's been happening. Global cooperation, as my good friend Bill Stasinski said, you can't have global cooperation on one day anyway. You can celebrate global cooperation on one day, but you can't have one day for global cooperation because it kind of defeats the purpose. It means the rest of the days are not spent in global cooperation.
Right.
So the whole,
if I might,
sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to interrupt at all, but I don't want to miss this thought. I don't know, Corin, you still there, right? Okay, well, I don't know if he's there or not. But earlier, last night, Corin and I met briefly at the center, and we were talking about a few things leading into today's discussion and so on. But I shared with him a very, very short promotional video that I think sort of summarizes or encapsulates these values and what we've been talking about so far today and for the last year and a half or so. And if you like, in fact, I mentioned it to Andrew earlier today, correct, Andrew? I'll send that video to you tonight or at the latest tomorrow, and you may find that useful because and the name of the video is, it's just called The Power of One. It's something that I worked on a couple of months ago, maybe a month and a half ago now. It's been finished about a month ago. And a brother who works with me and in terms of the editing and so on. But I think anyone who shares these values would, I think, readily identify with it. I shared it with some of my children, grandchildren, and other people, Muslim and non-Muslim, even my mother-in-law, and they quickly identified with the substance and of the clip. So it's ready to go, and if the group sees fit, we can use that easily as an additional tool to have people understand what we're talking about when we say human fraternity and the brotherhood concept. So I don't know, should I send it to you, Andrew, or should I send it to Adam, or both? What do you want me to do with that?
Send it to everybody.
Okay. Well, okay, good. Yeah.
How long is it, Saleem? How long is the video?
Oh, it's only a 2.5-minute clip because it's designed to be promotional. It's about 2 minutes and maybe 20 seconds.
So if you can send it to all of us, all of us, Brother Saleem, that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
I think it'll be quite useful. And by the way, on the subject of announcements, Corin will know this also, here in Bermuda at the BICC, Bermuda Islamic Cultural Center, we're having an open house. And it's intended that we'll have quote unquote dignitaries here and so on, the governor and the premier and so on that we invited, but other people, people who work in the community, and also religious people and non-religious people. And we'll try to have a sort of entertaining situation on that day, and we're going to try to live stream it. If we're unable to live stream it, we'll certainly make sure that it's documented and shared with the group. Inshallah. So that's Tuesday, October the 13th, and that's the anniversary of the when the organization was housed in the now premises, the Islamic Cultural Center. And anyway, the activities are going to take place over the period of the entire week, from Tuesday until Sunday. So there are various events, and certainly we'll share that with the group.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just so you know, in
Well,
in
that
the
sounds like
release of, sorry, Andrew?
Oh, I was about to say, Saleem, that sounds like an excellent announcement to make tomorrow. But go right ahead, Alicia.
No, I was just sharing with the group that now that Nakori is built and we're looking at the lineup and announcements to all of our organizations globally, like the ADDI, the African Diaspora Development Institute, and all of the many different affiliations that we have. We want to announce some of our initiatives and our lineup. And so what I'm looking at is revisiting the things that I had been interested in, you know, having an opportunity to promote those, the media pieces that had purpose, you know, and that had a way to engage people and to put forth either a mindset or a new narrative or something that aligns with, you know, peace and reconciliation. And that's why I was, again, so interested in the Sultan and the Saint. As far as the power of one, we can certainly do that. And just so you all know, if you have pieces that can represent a purpose, then we do have, I think, a pretty formidable platform that's able to reach people globally that we can then follow up with having either a discussion or polls or, you know, various things that will get people more engaged. And so that's what we do on an ongoing basis. And so as you come upon things, we're open to see how we can, you know, put that in the pipeline, if you will, for putting out to our audiences globally and engaging them. But most of all, the key word is engagement, to not just show a piece, but to then follow up with some kind of call to action or some kind of, you know, there's many ways you can engage, but I'm just saying it doesn't stop with just the piece itself. That's the beginning, to provoke discussion, to provoke some kind of, you know, ongoing initiative, because we can utilize media to help us move our mindsets and initiatives forward, especially when it comes to this idea of peace and reconciliation.
Yeah, agree. And we have to use the technology. We have to use the technology. We have to use the technology because the forces of evil are using technology to the nth degree.
Right.
And that's how they get the message across.
Right. Exactly. That's my work, Saleem, is to be in that space, to be in it and not of it, if you will. I mean, we're all Christians here, but to utilize that space for good instead of using it for evil and destruction. And I believe that's the season that we're coming into right now.
Yeah, we have to do it.
All of us are in that same mindset. But forgive me, guys, I'm still unclear about the status of the Sultan and the Saint. I don't know, is that a piece that is in the group, or is that someone else that we have to go to for a clearance? I mean, how do we?
Oh, you can access that online. You know, you can access that movie. That movie is accessible online. I don't remember if it's Netflix or is that your question? How do you access?
Well, I want to know how we can. I want to know how we could potentially air it and have a discussion group around it afterwards.
Well, you can Zoom it, or
you have to deal directly with the producers, Alicia. I mean, that's always been true. You have to deal directly with the producers.
Well, I didn't know if that was one of the people here, Andrew. I mean, it's been talked about so much. I didn't know if one of us was part of it, or
No,
if this
none of
was
us.
something that. Oh,
None of
okay.
us are part of it.
I see.
Excuse me, Lady Alicia, if you can still hear me, because again, the signal's intermittent. But the Sultan and the Saint was an excellent idea by Corin Smith to include somehow on the basis of last year being the 800th anniversary of the meeting between the
Right.
Sultan and the Saint.
Right.
And again, coming back to what I said about all of my mother's work being invited to be sent to the Vatican anyway, we could probably make some sort of deal. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Sultan and the Saint would be at the Vatican under the same kind of arrangements as offered to my mother. But what we could do is invite them or invite the producers or somehow and to participate. But as mentioned, they're not part of our original network. They're not part of our group. So we would have to invite them in this external entity and see how they would like it, if and how they would like to participate.
Yeah, that's a very good
But I'm pretty
suggestion.
sure they might.
I know
Anyone would want more exposure.
Yeah, pardon me. We've actually shown the movie clip at the center, and it was, you know, it was well received. You know, it's a good movie. And there are other movies also that support the value system that we're trying to, you know, get people to be aware of. That we have more in common than we have different. That's the point.
Right. Right.
But anyway, maybe Andrew, are you able to follow that up in terms of, you know, I guess, quote unquote, maybe you're concerned about copyright or something like that. But I know this movie is freely available to be
Sorry,
through the internet.
the conference is breaking up a bit, so I'm not sure who's talking to me and who. Did somebody mention my name and asking me to do something?
Well, if I was saying
No,
that
that was
someone,
Andrew.
someone should be assigned to follow up that technical question as to whether or not we can freely show the movie in private spaces or public spaces in order to get that
I see.
dialogue around it. That's what I was asking.
Okay, well, what I'd like to do is bump that back to Corin, sorry. Corin's original suggestion, which I wholeheartedly agree with, and the Prime Minister of New Zealand agrees with it too, is a tripartite arrangement between New Zealand, Bermuda, and the Sultanate of Oman as relatively small countries that can demonstrate fraternity, human fraternity perhaps better than bigger countries, and then demonstrate that spirit of human fraternity to the world. So on that basis, without giving Bishop Wares or Brother Saleem too much work to do, Corin and I would draft something. But we would do all the legwork, and then the ceremonial part would be that Bishop Saleem and Bishop Wares and Emir Saleem then present a letter to the producers of the Sultan and the Saint. And in the meantime, perhaps Bishop Wes could go to the Apostolic Nuncio of the Caribbean and get the Pope's permission, the Pope's endorsement for that request.
Yeah, I think that
the
is
Sultan
important.
of the Saint is going to help advance the spirit of human fraternity.
It is
and
important.
that comes from Bermuda. I mean, Corin and I will do not something out. We'll do the groundwork. We'll draft the letter, but it can be ceremonially presented jointly by Bishop Wes and Emir Saleem. That's my suggestion. If you're happy with it.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. And if additional support is needed in getting a response from the Egyptian quarter, it would be relatively easy for us to follow that up because we have a number of Egyptian brothers and sisters living in Bermuda. And also, we know some that just recently returned to Egypt, as recent as like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So to contact the Imam of Al-Azhar to get some type of feedback or cooperation, it wouldn't be that hard. But please take the initiative as you so desire, because it's good.
Okay.
And yeah, Corin and I can follow up with that. That's fine. But sorry, we're just coming into a mountainous region, and it's
Okay.
and the mountain's absolutely beautiful. I'll try and take a photo of it and send it at some point. But the problem, it's looking like the call's going to break up, so I'd like to say my goodbyes before the call drops out.
Okay.
And I know we have a few more things to discuss, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose the signal very soon.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you so much, Adam, for being here and all that you do, and thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I love
That's
everyone.
God bless everybody, and we'll be back. And when I get back home tonight, I'll prepare an email. I'm away from my computer, and we'll just keep following up. We've got people talking on WhatsApp, and we'll just keep going.
Yeah, I would suggest that we have. I would suggest that if we follow up in 4 or 5 days to see what, if any, progress has been made in terms of, for example,
yes,
the connecting links, and that would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Adam. By the way, Jenny Young is chatting with you on WhatsApp. So when you get a chance to WhatsApp her back, she's at your convenience.
Okay, certainly. Just tell her that we're all on the call. At this stage, please keep our conversations for planning between ourselves, and not we're doing nothing secretive, but it's best that we keep this kind of organization body, which has taken a very long time to build up, between ourselves now, the Zoom conference. So we can let Jenny know that we're in a conference. I'll come back to Jenny now. When I get out of this area, I'll message.
No worries. It was just
I think I'm going to lose my signal altogether.
Okay, Adam. Take care. Love you, brother.
Thank you for that. So just let Jenny know we're in a conference, and I'll message her when I can. I'm in a place where the signal's very weak.
I'll take care of it. No worries. No worries. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right. Very good. I'll send along a
Okay.
copy.
God bless you.
God bless you so much, Adam. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take care.
Drive
Bye-bye.
safely. Safe travels.
Bye.
Yeah, Saleem.
Okay.
So Saleem, again, I think it's so important with your anniversary coming up to make some mention of that tomorrow, and let's build from there as a way to generate, interest throughout our network. I think that's very important, and that will be an excellent demonstration of Global Cooperation Day by bonding together with you.
Yeah, we'll do. No worries. No worries.
Great.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know. In terms of time for connecting again tomorrow, there were 1 or 2 suggestions put out there. One was in the morning and one was in the afternoon. We didn't quite resolve or confirm a time, did we?
Well, I was going to leave it to you. I'll make myself available, for you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is
well,
better?
like I said, I don't want to make it too difficult for you all in California. You're 4 or 5 hours behind us. So I'm thinking, in retrospect, maybe it should be 10 o'clock rather than 8 o'clock, or something like that. If it's 10 o'clock Bermuda time, and then at least what's it, 6 o'clock? You're 4 hours different from us, correct?
Yeah, I typically get up at 6. I typically get up at 6 o'clock every morning. So
well,
10 o'clock.
If you need another hour, we can do that. Make it 11 o'clock Bermuda time. So it'll be 7 o'clock your time. How about that?
Well, I don't know what to do with myself for that hour. Okay, I'll figure it out.
Well, you can initiate the call if you want to make it at 6. I'm good. Yeah, I'm up, 5 o'clock every morning myself, so it's no big deal. It's just
All right.
that.
Alicia and I will coordinate. She gets up kind of early too, so if she's available, we'll see if we can do it. Otherwise, between 10 and 11, that sounds like a good plan.
I think that's a good window, yeah?
Yes, that's a great window.
Okay.
Thanks again, everyone. Appreciate and apologize. I'm so exhausted this evening, but hey, that's the way it goes. It's a full
You made
day
it.
today.
You made it.
I made it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
Assalamu
again.
alaikum, brother. Thank you so
Walaikum
much.
salam, everyone, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, God bless you too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Alicia. I'm gonna end the meeting. I love you so much. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye.